Do you want to learn Kung Fu?
Yeah.
Then I am your master.
Okay.
Don't cry.
Okay.
So after showing how to get 3 stars in Snoopy Pinball and Garfield Pinball, along with showing how to play competitively in arena mode, I got a request to make a video about Kung Fu Panda. That surprised me, as I don't remember this table giving me as much trouble as the other 2. Did I get lucky? Well, a little. When first playing this table, I was going with the general pinball strategy of hit the ball towards the flashy things. Yet, when I tried again, it wasn't too bad. I could beat my previous high score. That is what this video is about. While the narration is edited, the video is not. It's a straight playthrough of how to get 3 stars in Kung Fu Panda. It's not about wizard mode. This video is just about getting 3 stars.
You want to get something to eat?
But since I already did that, I'm not exactly sure the score required for 3 stars. I figure it's 10 million. This first tip should get you 20% of the way there. Land the skill shot. There are 2 parts to the skill shot. The first part is to hit the punching bag when the light is lit. The game refers to this target as the Adversary. I missed. That means a reset. I missed again. That means another reset. No more reset shenanigans. The gameplay will be uncut from here. I like to launch the ball while it's towards the end of an off cycle. Boom, nice hit. Now is part 2 of the skill shot, hit the flashing lane. If you can do that, it's a quick million points. It's extremely difficult to hit the super skill shot 3 times in one game. While that would be nice, it's not necessary to get all 3 stars. What is important is to consistently hit the basic skill shot, as the bonus is cumulative. First it's 300,000 points, next it's 400,000 points, and then it's 500,000 points. Hit the super skill shot just once and that's 2.2 million points, over 20% of the way there. Once the game is started, that leads to tip number 2. Aim for the main ramps. I'm constantly going for the Furious left ramp or the Dumplings right ramp. Either of those ramps can start a multi-ball. As you can see, it's not a perfect strategy. That's exactly the point. This is a low skill approach to getting 3 stars. I'm not playing perfectly here. I'm just going for the easy stuff. That's why the skill shot is so critical. There's a quick 400,000 points. While I missed the super skill shot, that won't stop the main objective. When you see the ball hitting all sorts of things here, typically I'm not actually trying to hit that. I'm trying to hit the 2 main ramps. They're pretty steep, so it's tough to get a good shot. That's why I like this strategy. If I miss the ramps, I might hit something nice instead. The ball tends to bounce safely back to a flipper. That's when I tried to catch the ball and then take a better shot at hitting the ramp. While it is possible to hit the left ramp from the left flipper, I had trouble doing that consistently. The general idea is to sway side to side, punch left, punch right, and then repeat. This does take practice, but it can be quite fun once you get the loops going. Wow, that was almost something awesome right there. I'm surprised that I didn't just reset the game at this point. But again, it's not about perfection. It's just about hitting those ramp loops, lighting up the lights in order to start locking the balls for multi-ball. On the third skill shot, the timing of the lights changes, so be careful not to miss. That's a quick 500,000 points. I missed the super skill shot though. That's disappointing, as that should have been an easy shot. Tip number 3 is to control the adversary. The reason why I avoid the adversary is because the ball tends to bounce badly off of it. I seem to do a better job of hitting it by avoiding it. Look at that, I just started the multiball. The letter G is my favorite mode, as it's a quick multiball. This is known as the Jade Palace Multiball. To start a main mode, the objective is to hit the punching bag into the targets behind it. There are 4 of them. Each time you hit the bag, the lit Kung Fu letter will advance. So, if you're really skilled, you can select the mode that you want. This time, it was just a lucky bounce. What's nice about this particular multiball is that you can still complete the mission with just 1 ball. That's what the instructions say. During your first playthrough, the mode can be finished with only 1 ball left. But here, I don't even do that. Did you see what just happened? Because that's tip number 4, shoot the turtle. The fireworks on the far left lane are from the kickback. There are 2 ways to get the kickback. The first is stupidly difficult. First, you have to light all 5 lane lights next to the flippers. Fortunately, you can move which lights are lit by using the flippers. That first part is not so bad. It's the second part. You have to hit the gong, which is protected by 3 barriers. It's a lot of work for something that can be lost so quickly. That's why shooting the turtle hole is nice. When it's lit, you can get a random award. They can be very good awards, such as extra points or an extra ball. The kickback award is not my favorite, but this game would have been over without it. Mere seconds after getting the award, it was lost. To relight the turtle hole, hit the spinner on the left. After a certain amount of flips, the random prize will be available again. Besides wicked bounces, I avoid the adversary because a main mode freezes progress on the ramps. 1 more shot up the dumplings ramp and the Cookie Jar Multiball would have been started. Although you'll probably need to start a few main modes and complete them to get a good score. The G mode, the Jade Palace Multiball, is in action once again. And yet again, I'm just trying to keep the balls in play for as long as possible. Do you remember when I said that I aim for the ramps, but if I miss, I can hit nice things instead? Well, in all of this confusion, 2 very important things are happening. First, the turtle hole is relit. That's huge, but there's something even more important. That's tip number 5, light the candles. Well, I'm calling them candles, they could be torches. Do you see the burning things at the bottom right of the table? It's next to the plunger. The higher you can raise that, the more points you'll get. The point is raising the multiplier. You can raise the multiplier by lighting both ramps near the bumpers. The bumpers are the 3 bowls of soup at the top. You can switch which light is lit by using the flippers. It can be tough to tell if you were successful, or if the light was just turned off. That's the challenge. Unlike the flipper lane lights, the bumper lane lights can be turned off too. So the main mode was successful, which brings the total score to around 9 million points. Since it's only 1 more dumpling shot to start the Cookie Jar Multiball, that's what I'm aiming for. It's a 3-ball multiball, and there are 2 main objectives. The first is to hit the dumplings. Those are 50,000 points each. That might not sound like huge points, but there are so many, and with 3 balls on the playfield, the points add up quickly. This is yet another multiball where I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing. And if you look closely, I'm not hitting any ramps. That's the problem of basing your whole strategy around a multiball. For much of this game, I've been trying to start the Cookie Jar Multiball, but now that it's here, there's not much of a plan going on. So that's tip number 6. If the Cookie Jar Multiball is started, aim for the dumplings on the playfield and the jackpot lanes. When the cookie jar is lit, then aim for the dumplings lane. This was a really sloppy showing, yet 2 million points were added to the score. It was the usual strategy of hit the ball towards the flashy things. It really worked out. The goal of 10 million points was reached. But obviously this video isn't over, so what's next? That's actually a problem of reaching a goal. With the dumplings lane completed, I wasn't sure what to hit next. That's actually an easy problem to solve. Just hit it again. In attempting to do so, and missing the ramp, I unexpectedly started this water slide mode. I don't like this mode because it's frustrating. The sounds of running water is supposed to relax you, but I have a lot of trouble getting the ball to fall the way I want it to. Also, hitting the ball through the caves to restart the mode, that's tricky too. The mode lasts 40 seconds, and the goal is to follow the flow of the water as many times as possible. If you can successfully navigate the ball down the waterfall, this can lead to a lot of points. The more times you follow the flow, the higher the bonus. Once again, something that I wasn't specifically trying to do led to a lot of points. Almost 1,000,000 points. What I should have been aiming for was the turtle hole. I left this light lit too long. So, here's a successful shot. The game is not broken. I turned the music off and the voices off, so it can be tough to recognize what's going on here. Even the score display isn't showing useful information. But if you look at the red panda shoot again light, it's lit. That means I got an extra ball. That's tip number 7, get an extra ball. There are 5 ways to get an extra ball, but I think this is the easiest. Although, it obviously involves luck. While this is an uncut playthrough of Kung Fu Panda Pinball, there were many attempts before this video was created. That's the beauty of collecting 3 stars. You only have to do it once. That's also the beauty of this game. I've been trying to start the Furious 5 Multiball, but the attempts have been rather clumsy. Look at that, right there. I hit the post and the ball was starting to leave the playfield. If not for the kickback, the ball would have been lost. And again, the ball bounced off the adversary. That could have been a game over. But Kung Fu Panda Pinball has generous ball saves, so while I'm struggling to finish the Furious ramp, I'm still staying aware of other opportunities. Like here, I tried for the dumplings ramp, but I hit the outer orbit instead. That still works because here's where I can increase the multiplier. It's now up to 9x. That's huge. It's not so apparent right now, but you'll see the difference it makes when this turn is over. And again, I missed the dumplings ramp. The ball traveled the orbit. Too bad, 10x would have been nice. And not losing the ball would have been nice too. But now you can see the bonus scores. They're in the millions of points. The whole bonus totals over 7 million points. That's why if you're aiming for a high score, the multiplier is a big factor. Normally the game would be over, but I have an extra ball. And again, that's why hitting the skill shot is important. The bonus here is 600,000 points. That means almost 3 million points of this game is just from skill shots. Combined with the 7.1 million points from the multiplier, that's basically the 3 stars right there. Nice. Like I said, really generous ball saves. Up until this point, this video has mainly been technical, but I think it's important to say that I like this pinball table. It's not just the theme either. While I've seen Kung Fu Panda before, and I kinda liked the movie, there's something more to this game. It just flows. I like the left and right ramp combo. It's a fun game. But also, the theme is important. With the music turned on, there's an extra feeling of enjoyment. It's as if you're doing something majestic. Also, I like how the table is clean. A lot of it is pretty relatable. Hardwood floors, food, kung fu. These are things that people like. The table has mass appeal. Whoa, crazy bounce. But that set up the perfect shot to start the Furious 5 Multiball. After all that work, it was over in an instant. But that was a quick 1,000,000 points. The score is now over 21 million points. We've reached the objective twice over. But what's next? Well, there's still a lot to do in Kung Fu Panda Pinball. The most obvious is to complete all 6 main modes. That's what's going on here. Currently, the letter K mode is active. That's the dumplings mode, which is different than the dumplings ramp. The objective in the dumplings main mode is to hit the ramps and then collect the dumplings. But here, I'm trying to shoot the turtle hole again, and obviously not doing such a great job of getting that done. Yay, ball saver! It usually shows up if you lose the ball immediately after hitting the adversary. Ah, there it goes. The reward is ball saver for 20 seconds. So, I'm going to go nuts. That's my least favorite reward, so I might as well take advantage of it while it lasts. Hitting the gong and then lighting the kickback does help, as I probably would not have gone for that otherwise. The main modes are tough because it requires hitting many different types of targets, which makes it harder to control the ball. That's why I've been avoiding the main modes. Wow, the kickbacks are really short-lived in this game. Once enough arrow targets have been completed, dumplings enter the playfield. They're worth a lot of points. So, practicing the main modes is another way to get 3 stars. But unfortunately, that didn't work for me. This game is over. Hopefully you enjoyed this adventure, and hopefully the information helps you to get a higher score. The final score here was 23,488,027 points.